Another legacy project for us, something that we have been dealing with since basically the 1940s when the federal government came into Alaska and authorized private firms to explore for oil and gas inside the National Petroleum Reserve. Those operators walked away and failed to properly abandon and cap many of those wells. You know this well, some 136 wells that were in that situation. Government spent $96 million on plugging the legacy wells between 1982 and 2013. They got another $50 million for the cleanup work in 2014. We have directed, since I've been here in the Senate, this was one of my early priorities, and I recognize that it is challenging to get to the remaining wells for cleanup. I understand that, but just because it's challenging does not mean that we don't advance it. And the way that we advance it is we put sufficient resources into the budget to address the final cleanup. So I need to know that you will continue to work with me to address the backlog on this cleanup. We need to have kind of our annual update on how many wells we have fully addressed, how many remain, what's the average cost per well going forward. I need to know that we've got that action plan and that in addition to the action plan, we have the resources that will allow for the completion of this very unfortunate legacy that was left by our federal government. We would never allow a private operator to get away with that, and we know that. We would fine them until they had nothing left. We need to rectify this.
As you know, 24 of the 50 wells have been addressed. The average cost of the wells is about $1.8 million. Having said that, the first wells were the easiest. Mm-hmm. So in the omnibus, I think it had about $10 million in it. We think we'll cover another 4 wells, which on it. But some of the wells that we're looking at in the future are going to be more expensive.
Right.
So we have a plan. Our remediation team has identified it. The sooner we get to it, the less cost it will be.
Well, and it's also coordinating with other projects that may be going on up in the region. As you know, when you're sitting up there literally at the top of North America in an area where you don't have access to roads, mobilization for a project is extraordinarily expensive. And oftentimes what we see is you'll put the equipment on the barge, on the spring barge that comes in July, and you do the work, and then you move it back down to the lower 48, and you've been able to facilitate a couple different projects. But knowing that somebody else, the Department of Defense might be doing a cleanup, for instance, down by Point Lay, where they have a mobbing operation that needs to be done, coordinating between Interior and DOD is something that I think we have some room for efficiencies. I don't think that we talk to one another like that, but it's something that I'd like to sit down and explore with your team as we get that update.
And I do talk to General Mattis, now Secretary Mattis, a lot. We have a great relationship. I fought with him in Fallujah. He's a great general, and we do share and collaborate on a lot of issues. And this is probably one that we just need to bring into the fold.
Good, good.